It is called St. Louis Fringe for a reason. Performance art honoring Jackson Pollack is not something you find in most places. But this year, St. Louis's home of art on the edge is taking you even further.
When you're young and you need the money, you always think you need to run. Mama said you can change the world, but you can't change what's done.
Exploring musical theater in places where musicals don't often tread.
There's been protest music forever. Why can't there be a protest musical?
That question is posed by Colin Healy, a South Florida native now living in St. Louis. His show, The Gringo, is based on events surrounding the death of a graffiti artist named Israel Hernandez after being tased by Miami Beach police. Healy heard about the story, then realized he had attended high school with Hernandez.
And I had no idea that our lives geographically were so close, but our lives culturally were so different. And that blew my mind apart as a Floridian, where like sort of racism and cultural touchstones like that are not really necessarily on the forefront of everybody's tongue all the time. So it kind of led me down this rabbit hole of like, well, geez, how many different freaking Americas are there?
He worked on the show for a while, then moved to St. Louis in the aftermath of the Michael Brown shooting in Ferguson. That's when his foot went on the gas creatively. And he created a musical touching on serious, dark subject matter that is a long way from Meet Me in St. Louis.
A musical doesn't have to stay showboat and all that stuff. It can be anything. And if anybody thinks any different, I'll fight them.
We would be so excited if the Gringo went all the way, so to speak.
St. Louis Fringe Executive Director Matthew Kearns sees the Gringo's serious subject matter following in the steps of recent smashes like Hamilton, and a chat with Healy sold him.
We started talking about it, and instantly I agreed because I see such great talent and potential in that young artist. And I believe that he has these interesting stories that are a new space for the musical theater that really can go all the way.
Shows like You're in Town, and there's like a ton of other shows I'm sure that you could, I don't know the exhaustive list, but Fringe festivals are one of the many traditional launching points for Broadway shows. And if, the show is good enough and has the following and, a little bit of luck and a lot of elbow grease, maybe you'll get there. And that's the hope for this show.
You better watch your back when she's got a breeze, 'cause she's a breeze-bucket girl underneath the limousine.
There are other big aspirations here. Race Cars and Romance is the brainchild, not of a Broadway veteran, but of a former oil change shop owner in Dallas.
Basically, a guy who owned a Jiffy Lube wrote a musical about life at a Jiffy Lube.
And I wasn't really very good at running the oil change business. I'm not a car lover, and you really have to be a car lover to love that business and succeed. But there were a lot of situations that went on that I would observe, and I just felt compelled to write lyrics about them. It's just something that came out.
Roger's brother wrote the music, and some Broadway veterans were found online to bring it all together. Now, Race Cars is the national headliner here, with that same Broadway dream coming out of Fringe.
It is a really great opportunity for small shows to have a step forward.
They'll all tell you festivals like St. Louis Fringe keep dreams alive, dreams of making it big for those still climbing their own artistic mountains.
Free,